Hello everyone, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves Scrap and welcome to today's video. Today we're diving into a gorgeous new layout using a black magic sketch, but we are doing something completely different. Have you ever found a scrapbook sketch you absolutely loved, followed the design to a T, but when you finished it, the page just felt, well, flat? Of course, it felt completely cluttered and heavy and you couldn't figure out why. That's even worse. Well, today I am pulling back the curtain on a design secret that nobody is talking about. We're going to completely unpack the anchor and float technique for controlling our visual weight on our layout. You see, when you look at a flat 2D sketch, every single shape looks exactly equal. But as a memory keeper who loves heavy layering, deep textures and adding just a little bit more, I know that flat shapes don't translate equally into real life. Different materials can carry a different weight visually, and there is a hidden rule in scrapbooking. Thick, chunky elements like chipboard, corrugated cardboard and dark patterns need to sink to the bottom of your layers to anchor the design. Meanwhile, your light elements like vellum, fine thread or delicate fine tags need to float right there on the top. If you get this backwards, then your entire layout collapses visually. So today I'm going to show you how to look at a simple square on a sketch and strategically decide which pieces need to be anchored and which ones need to float to create breathtaking depth. Grab your favourite hot drink, everyone, clear off your scrapbook table, and let's learn how to turn those flat lines into a layered masterpiece. Let's get scrapping. So you already saw the first technique there where I put the mixed media splatters to the back. They're light, okay, but they need to be in the background so that I can get depth from my papers. Now, when you look at very patterned papers like this, don't forget to just layer them up from heavier to lighter, and you'll see this in action in a moment. I've just rounded the corners there with a decorative punch that I have, and it has got the edges out of it. Now I want to add texture and depth to my layout again, so I am scuffing up all of the pieces of paper that you saw, and there you can see a light tag. Remember I told you light tags float to the front, but I want to anchor it to the page, so I'm going to put that darker line around it, and the darker line allows it to sit on the page and get those layers happening and popping on your page so that you have that complete anchor and floating feel right across the full layout. Now, if you remember back to the sketch, there was the round circle over to the right of the page. Then there was a horizontal bar running across the center, and then the decorative piece underneath. Now, we are doing a black magic sketch here, and we are following the color scheme, and you will see that all the colors that are in the color scheme I am pulling into this layout. So here we go. We have a really heavy dark black background. What did it say about darkness? It goes to the bottom, and that's what we want. Then we have the light colors that come to the top, and that is those splatters there. Now we're going to put the circle, which is a heavy circle, and it is the size of the one in the sketch, but that's okay because that's what we want it to do. And then I'm putting in this strip, and I've got the darker teal blues and the aquas in there, and they're going to the back of this square, this decorative piece of pattern paper. Now this is a light patterned paper, and so therefore it can sit on top of the heaviest strip there with the lines in it, and that's really going to work to help keep everything balanced. So I have my 4 photos, and for this layout I'm following the sketch pretty closely, and I am not going to mat them, and the reason I'm not going to mat them is because I want them to float. If I put a matting on them, that's going to really cause an imbalance with the papers that I have now started to stack onto this layout. If I put a border onto them or a matting, I'm actually going to take away from that pattern paper, and you will lose the visual effect. And this way the photos are the heroes of the page, and that is ultimately what we want on our layouts. So I'm just going to place them into place here. I have got them in the same placement as the sketch so that they form a alternate grid, and this is allowing me to layer them up so that they become the masterpiece of the layout. And that's really important with your photos because you do want them to be the showcase. The fact that it bleeds over into the dark is fine. I'm happy with that. It's really drawing your eye around that circular motion there, and the layering of the photos on top of each other gives that pinwheel type of effect for the layout. And because they are slightly off center to the circle, that makes it even more effective. It really does draw your eye to that circle around the layout. Now I'm going to tuck in the tag here. Now remember, I talked about the tag being lighter and sitting to the top, and that is very much so here. I have got that what is the grid paper. It's in a grid. Now we're going to talk about anchoring our clusters, and we really want anchor points for them so that they do sit in the layout nicely. And I have got these watercolor type floral arrangements, and I'm putting them in under the two main cluster points that I want them to be as anchor points. I don't want them to be major features, but they are going to create that shadow effect on the page. So that's also very important when you're looking at your clusters, is to tie them all together. Now you can see that I am layering these up, and I do have the lighter color to the top, that's the white, and I'm tucking in the darker colors at the bottom. And this will give a floating feel to the layout, whereas the anchor, which is the darker point, is holding it all together. And this is what you really want to happen when you're doing your clusters. Otherwise they do collapse and you don't get that airy floaty feeling on your page. Now you would have seen in the sketch that there were just the indications of your clusters. Now you don't have to use the shapes that are in your cluster. That's the most important thing. You can use shapes that are relevant to your pictures. You can use shapes that are relevant to your theme. I've gone with the florals because my photos are of the gardens up at Lura, and that was in September, October last year when we went to the Spring Festival up there and went through the gardens, and these gardens were magnificent. And look at the view over the Blue Mountains from that top photo there. It was just magic in there. Now I'm just going to add in some faux stitching here to highlight that circle motion on the layout, and you can see it going around the outside, and that's allowing the circle to float off into that empty white space of the black in the background. The next part that I'm going to add in is I'm adding in some faux stitching all the way around the edge, and I did have the perfect pen, which I don't know what happened to it, and so I'm going with this lighter one here, and it's going to allow me to put that faux stitching all the way around and just be a blended in piece of it without drawing your eye too heavily to it on the layout. And that's important too, because yes, I want my borders to be finished, and yes, I want my layout to be finished, but I don't want that feature to overpower the main part of the layout. Now I do have this pink here, which I'm now going to put on the inner side of the circle, and that's just going to give that balance of light and dark on the layout, allowing the anchor and the float to happen in the same place. Now you can see how this is really coming together. That black heavy background really allows for everything to float on top, and you can see here now by adding in the journaling, it is really now becoming a focal point of the layout, and that's adding to the balance. And that's how this layout has been interpreted and designed, and therefore has got both anchor points and floating points, and that's allowing it to be balanced. So there's a lot going on, and I'm just adding in my Nuvo drops there to create the visual triangle, and that helps to allow your eye to naturally roam over the layout. Now another piece that is also going to sit on the top but also allow for that floaty feeling is the string, and it's light. String is light, but this isn't string, this is embroidery thread, which I'm going to put through the tag, because you know you don't leave your tags undressed. And then I am going to have it just sit on the top, and I will glue it down so that it looks like a bit of a messy lay, but you know, just adds to that floaty feel for the overall feel of the layout. As you can see, the flowers and the color scheme all complement my photos really well, and that's another key factor when you're deciding on your layout, is the colors of your photos to the colors of your paper. So you can see that each of my photos are slightly larger than what was in the sketch, and that's okay because it's up to your interpretation. and you're allowed to modify the sketch. It's only a guide. It's like a blueprint. Like, you know, when they're building a house, it's a blueprint. It's how things are just placed. How you interpret the blueprint is up to you, and how you make it your own is very, very much up to you. So I like to always try to keep close to the sketch, but also be mindful of the fact that, you know, size is just relative to your own equipment and your own desire for your layout. So you can see here how having larger photos has not taken away from the key elements of the sketch, but has actually enhanced the key parts and allowed for those clusters to be really full and rich. So that's how you get your anchor and your float technique into play. Don't forget lighter colors to the top, heavier to the bottom, and you're allowing that free flowy material to go and draw your eye around the layout. So I hope this has given you something to think about. I hope this helps you interpret a sketch a little bit better for yourself and to create masterpieces. Go check out Black Magic Sketches on Facebook and join in the fun. Give me a like, a thumbs up, and here's my next video for you. See you over there real soon. And I love it every time you join me. Stay creative, friends.